Why are utility companies adjusting our thermostats during heat waves? There's some really crazy things going on right now. So basically what it really comes down to is there's actually not enough power on the grid. We're using way more power than we used to, but at the same time the government's been trying to figure out how to clean up our air quality. And so what they did is they started shutting off these coal-fired plants. And so there was an article that recently just came out. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Vivint Smart Home. There's a company that's like, say, it's called NRG. NRG is kind of like Rocky Mountain Power, or probably more like Rocky Mountain Power's parent company, Pacific Corp. Very large utility company went out and purchased Vivint Smart Home, and the big thing that they did in here is they paid $2.8 billion to acquire Vivint Smart Home. And here's what Vivint Smart Home brings to the table. Vivint had 5.4 million customers that had these digital thermostats and these Internet of Things inside the house. And what it is so like when a heat wave comes across and the demand for energy gets too high, and it's going to make the grid subject to being actually crashing because they just can't fulfill the demand, they can actually remotely tap into this 5.4 million customers that Vivint has, and they can reduce the power consumption in the house by 44%. Now you got to ask yourself, like, why in the world would this happen? See, Rocky Mountain Power, just like NRG, are for-profit businesses. But even though they're for-profit businesses, they also have responsibility to keep the grid operational so that the thing doesn't crash. So they literally get paid to produce power to keep your lights on so that you can consume more. So you would think consuming more would actually be in their best interest because it drives up profits. It's true, but there's this caveat. They can't fulfill the demand. Therefore, a for-profit utility company has gone out and purchased a company that had 5.4 million customers with digital thermostats on the house so that they could actually remotely tap into your house and reduce your power consumption by 44%, trying to protect the grid. Kind of some of the strangest things that I've ever seen. And so one of the things that I've noticed lately is we've had, over the years, I've done solar and battery on houses, but typically it's mostly just been solar. And with things like this bubbling up, over the last, say, 2 years, I've done more batteries in the last 2 years than I did in the previous 6 years combined installing batteries. But it's crazy. I never would have thought that a utility company would have spent their own hard-earned money to figure out how to turn off your power so that they can protect the grid from going down. Anyway, thought you'd find that interesting. It's kind of an interesting article. If you want to go look it up, the article is NRG Vivint Deal Highlights Value of Integration Channels for Utilities. And just pull up the article, read through it, and then you'll see the details of exactly what I'm talking about.